What if the fish you've trusted your entire life has been quietly harming your heart, your brain, and even your bones? For decades, fish has been one of the go-to healthy meals for millions of people. It's the protein that's supposed to keep our hearts healthy, our brains sharp, and our bodies strong. But what if the fish we've been eating all along is actually doing the opposite? Imagine this. Raymond, a 72-year-old man, thought grilled fish was the safest, healthiest choice for his dinner. He trusted it so much that it had become his go-to meal. After all, it was lean, full of omega-3s, and promoted as heart healthy. He couldn't have been more wrong. One day, after a routine visit to his cardiologist, Raymond heard something that completely shocked him. His heart was in much worse shape than he thought. The doctor explained that the very fish Raymond had been eating regularly for years could actually be a major contributor to his declining health. It turns out, there was a hidden danger in the fish he loved, and he had no idea. This story isn't just Raymond's. It could be any one of us. For many of us, fish is considered a safe meal. But what if our favorite fish is quietly shortening our lives? Or even worse, putting our hearts and minds at risk? Stick with me. This could change the way you look at your dinner plate forever. Let's start with the first silent offender, one that's hiding in plain sight, right under our noses, on millions of license plates across the country. It's big, it's delicious, and it hides a dark secret. King mackerel. It's a fish that many of us love for its rich, flavorful taste. But what if I told you that this tasty fish could be putting your health at risk in a way you never imagined? Especially as we age, it's important to be more cautious about what we put into our bodies. And king mackerel? It's hiding a dangerous secret. The issue with king mackerel lies in one word: mercury. This large fish accumulates high levels of mercury, a toxic substance that can be especially harmful to our brain and heart, two organs that become more vulnerable as we age. Take Gloria, for instance. She's a retired teacher who had always enjoyed her regular serving of grilled king mackerel. It was her go-to dinner, thinking it was a healthy choice. But something changed. Gloria started to notice that she was forgetting things more often. Simple tasks, names, even memories began to slip away. It wasn't until a routine visit to a neurologist that she got the answer. The mercury in her beloved king mackerel could be contributing to her cognitive decline. Mercury builds up in the body over time, and for older adults, it can cause serious issues, particularly with memory and the cardiovascular system. The older we get, the less efficient our bodies are at processing and eliminating toxins. And with mercury accumulating in the system, the risk to our brain and heart increases dramatically. Now, let's talk about why this matters for you. The first step to protecting your health is knowing what to look out for. King mackerel, with its dangerously high mercury levels, isn't the only fish out there. There are safer alternatives, and making a few simple changes in your diet can significantly reduce the risks. So, here's a quick comparison. If you love fish, there are options that are lower in mercury, like salmon, sardines, and trout. These fish not only have lower levels of mercury, but are also packed with omega-3s and other nutrients that can benefit your health. Let's rank these fish in terms of mercury content, from the highest to the safest choice. King mackerel sits at the top of the list for high mercury content, while salmon, sardines, and trout all come in with much lower levels, offering a much safer option for older adults. Now, I want to ask you, take a moment to check your freezer. Does king mackerel happen to be hiding in there? It might be time to rethink your next meal. Now, let's take a look at another popular food choice, one that often seems healthy, but can carry hidden dangers that we might not be aware of. It's affordable, accessible, and incredibly controversial. Tilapia. You've probably had it 100 times, whether grilled, baked, or fried. It's cheap, easy to find, and often marketed as a heart-healthy option. But what if I told you that tilapia, a fish that many of us consider a safe choice, might actually be doing more harm than good? Let's take a closer look at farm-raised tilapia. While this fish has become one of the most popular choices for affordable protein, there are some serious red flags you need to be aware of. Diane, a 68-year-old widow, started eating tilapia after her doctor recommended adding more fish to her diet to improve her heart health. She made the switch, thinking she was making a healthy choice. But soon after, Diane started experiencing joint pain, swelling, and stiffness, symptoms she'd never had before. Her doctor explained that this wasn't just an aging issue. It was an inflammation problem, and the source? Tilapia. You see, farm-raised tilapia is often packed with omega-6 fatty acids and very low in omega-3s, which can increase inflammation in the body. This imbalance can contribute to conditions like arthritis, heart disease, and other chronic health issues, especially in older adults. When you eat fish that's high in omega-6 but low in omega-3, you're essentially feeding the flames of inflammation. And for someone like Diane, this meant years of pain and discomfort that could have been avoided. Visual comparison. Here's a quick breakdown of the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in different types of fish. On one side, we have tilapia with a dangerously high ratio of omega-6 compared to omega-3, which can trigger inflammation. On the other side, fish like wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel have much healthier ratios, providing your body with the omega-3s it needs to fight inflammation and support heart health. Now, let's talk about why this happens. Farm-raised tilapia is often fed a diet that's rich in corn and soy, two foods that are high in omega-6 fatty acids. Unfortunately, this diet doesn't give the fish the healthy omega-3s found in their natural diet. This imbalance is what makes tilapia such a poor choice for your health, especially when it comes to reducing inflammation. What does inflammation really mean? Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection, but when it becomes chronic, it can contribute to a variety of health problems, including joint pain, heart disease, and even diabetes. The high levels of omega-6 in tilapia can fuel this chronic inflammation, leading to long-term health issues. So, what should you be looking for instead of tilapia? Let's break it down. There are a few great alternatives that are both better for your health and lower in inflammation. Wild-caught salmon, packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are known for their anti-inflammatory properties. Salmon is one of the best choices for heart health. Sardines. These little fish are packed with omega-3s and calcium, making them a great option for seniors looking to support bone health as well. Mackerel, another excellent source of omega-3s. Mackerel is not only heart healthy, but also incredibly flavorful. There's a common belief that tilapia is a heart-healthy fish, but the truth is, farm-raised tilapia doesn't provide the same benefits as other fish. It's time to break the myth and choose options that truly support your health. Have you ever thought you were doing the right thing, only to find out it was working against you? Let me know in the comments. And now, perhaps the most shocking and heartbreaking truth of all. There's a fish that's banned in many countries, but still found in grocery stores across the US. It's quick, it's easy, and it's everywhere. But what if it's too good to be true? Canned tuna. For many of us, it's the ultimate convenience food. It's cheap, ready to eat, and can be thrown into a salad, sandwich, or pasta dish in minutes. But what if this everyday pantry staple is secretly doing more harm than good? You see, there's a hidden danger in canned tuna, one that most of us are unaware of. The issue? Mercury. Like king mackerel, tuna is another fish that tends to accumulate high levels of mercury, especially in its larger species like albacore tuna. And the scary part? Mercury isn't something you can just shake off. It builds up in your body over time, and for older adults, it can cause serious health problems. Take Carl, a 70-year-old retiree who ate canned tuna for lunch nearly every day. He thought he was making a healthy choice. After all, it was high in protein and low in fat. But after several years of consuming tuna regularly, Carl began experiencing strange symptoms, fatigue, memory issues, and tingling in his hands and feet. His doctor ran tests and discovered that Carl had elevated mercury levels, likely from years of eating canned tuna. It turns out that the convenience of his daily tuna habit had come with a heavy cost. So, what's the deal with mercury in tuna? Mercury is a toxic heavy metal that can have serious effects on the brain and heart. When we consume fish like tuna, the mercury accumulates in our system, especially in the form of methylmercury. Over time, this can impair cognitive function, cause nerve damage, and increase the risk of cardiovascular issues. Let's take a look at how mercury levels stack up in different types of fish. Tuna, especially albacore, sits high on the list, making it one of the worst offenders. On the other hand, fish like salmon, sardines, and trout have much lower mercury levels, making them safer choices for older adults. So, why does this happen with tuna? The reason tuna is so high in mercury is that it's a large predator fish. As tuna feed on smaller fish, They accumulate mercury in their bodies, which is then passed on to us when we eat them. Unlike smaller fish like sardines, which have a much shorter lifespan and don't accumulate as much mercury, tuna builds up the toxin over its long life. The good news is, there are alternatives to canned tuna that are just as convenient, but much safer for your health. If you're craving something quick, try using canned salmon or sardines instead. Both are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and other nutrients that can help protect your heart and brain without the mercury risk. And if you're still unsure about canned fish, look for brands that test for mercury levels and choose those with lower mercury content. But remember, moderation is key. You don't have to cut out tuna entirely, but it's important to be mindful of how much you're consuming, especially if you're over 60. Do you eat canned tuna regularly? Or do you have a favorite alternative? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below. It's big, it's bold, and it's lurking on your plate, waiting to strike. Swordfish. The name itself sounds like something straight out of a pirate movie, mighty, dangerous, and fierce. And when you see it on the menu, it's hard to resist. A thick, juicy steak of swordfish, grilled to perfection. It seems like a good choice, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this mighty fish is actually one of the worst offenders when it comes to mercury? Swordfish, much like king mackerel and tuna, is a large predator that accumulates mercury in its body as it climbs the food chain. The problem is, swordfish has some of the highest levels of mercury of any fish. And for older adults, this can be especially dangerous. Mercury poisoning can have serious consequences, impacting your brain, heart, and kidneys. So, while it might taste amazing, that swordfish steak could be quietly doing more harm than good. Take James, a 75-year-old man who considered himself a swordfish lover. He had it on special occasions, treating himself to a thick fillet whenever he dined out. But over time, he started experiencing symptoms like memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and even heart palpitations. After a series of tests, his doctor confirmed the worst: high levels of mercury in his bloodstream, likely from his regular swordfish consumption. James was devastated. What he thought was a special treat had unknowingly been poisoning him. So, why is swordfish so high in mercury? As a large, predatory fish, swordfish eat smaller fish that have already accumulated mercury, creating a dangerous buildup in their own tissues. Over time, this results in extremely high mercury levels that can have toxic effects on humans who consume them. Let's break it down. Swordfish sits at the top of the mercury charts, far higher than fish like salmon or sardines, which have lower levels of mercury. For older adults, eating swordfish regularly could increase the risk of mercury poisoning, which can lead to cognitive decline, heart issues, and kidney damage. The health risks just aren't worth it. Fortunately, there are plenty of delicious and safer alternatives to swordfish. If you're craving a meaty fish steak, go for wild-caught salmon, a fish that's packed with heart-healthy omega-3s and much lower in mercury. Other great options include trout and sardines, both of which provide excellent nutrition without the heavy mercury load. Mercury is a neurotoxin, meaning it can damage your brain and nervous system. It can cause memory problems, difficulty concentrating, and even tremors. Long-term exposure to mercury can also increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, kidney problems, and other serious health conditions. For older adults, whose bodies may already be more sensitive, it's especially important to minimize mercury exposure. Have you ever had swordfish? Or maybe you're wondering if it's time to swap it for something healthier. Let me know in the comments. Now that we've tackled the mercury giants, let's move on to a fish that's widely adored and might be hiding some unexpected risks of its own. You've probably heard it 100 times. Salmon is heart healthy, one of the best things you can eat. With its vibrant pink color and glowing reputation, it seems like the perfect food, especially for older adults looking to protect their hearts and minds. But under that glossy layer of healthy fat lies a hidden danger. A danger that Henry, a 70-year-old retiree from Florida, discovered a little too late. Henry was the picture of health. 3 times a week, grilled salmon was on his dinner plate, always with a side of greens. He believed it was his secret to a long, healthy life. But then came the headaches, the itchy, dry skin, the constant bloating. A routine blood test revealed something shocking. Elevated levels of PCBs, industrial toxins banned decades ago. His doctor didn't mince words. Henry, these levels likely came from farm-raised salmon. See, not all salmon is created equal. Farmed salmon, especially the kind mass-produced overseas, often contains harmful chemicals like PCBs, dioxins, and even antibiotics. These substances build up in fatty tissue and are far harder for aging bodies to eliminate. For older adults, this means greater risk, more inflammation, more pressure on the liver and kidneys, more silent damage done bite by bite. What's worse, it's easy to be fooled. Farmed salmon looks delicious, costs less, and is sold everywhere. But the long-term cost to your health? That's something no price tag can show. If salmon is on your menu, pause for a moment. Check the label. Is it wild-caught from Alaska? Or is it a farmed product, raised in crowded, chemically-laden pens? A small change, choosing wild over farmed, can mean a world of difference for your heart, your brain, and your future. It's affordable, easy to find, and looks so innocent on your plate. But underneath, there's a dark secret lurking. Basa fish. For years, it's been one of the most popular choices in supermarkets and restaurants, often found swimming in the fresh or frozen seafood section. Affordable, mild-flavored, and easy to prepare, it's an attractive option for anyone looking for a quick, budget-friendly meal. But what if I told you that the fish you've been eating so regularly could be hiding something far more sinister? Basa is a type of catfish, most commonly imported from Vietnam. While it's considered a staple in many households due to its price and availability, it also has a darker side that many people don't know about. The biggest concern? The conditions under which basa is farmed. You see, unlike wild-caught fish that live in clean, natural waters, basa is often raised in overcrowded, poorly maintained fish farms. These farms use questionable practices, including the use of harmful chemicals, antibiotics, and poor water quality, all of which make their way into the fish you eat. Take Linda, a 70-year-old woman who loved to make basa a regular part of her dinner routine. She thought she was making a healthy, affordable choice, until her doctor told her otherwise. Linda began experiencing digestive issues, skin rashes, and even an allergic reaction that she couldn't explain. After a battery of tests, it turned out that her body had been absorbing harmful chemicals and antibiotics found in the basa fish she had been eating. What seemed like a harmless meal had been poisoning her slowly, and she was left wondering how something so innocent could have such devastating consequences. Let's break it down. Basa fish is often farmed in conditions where the fish are packed in tight spaces, leading to poor water quality and increased exposure to bacteria and diseases. In order to combat these issues, farmed basa is frequently treated with antibiotics and other chemicals, some of which are harmful to humans. Unlike wild-caught fish, which are more likely to have cleaner and more natural diets, basa is raised in conditions that compromise its safety and quality. If you're looking for a fish that's both healthy and safe to eat, there are plenty of better alternatives. Wild-caught salmon and trout, for example, are much cleaner and more nutritious choices. They're rich in heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids and are less likely to contain harmful chemicals or antibiotics. If you enjoy white fish, consider going for cod, haddock, or even tilapia, as long as it's sustainably farmed or wild-caught. Farmed fish can be a breeding ground for bacteria, parasites, and diseases due to overcrowding. In order to prevent these issues, fish farms often use chemicals, antibiotics, and pesticides, which can ultimately end up in the fish you eat. Long-term exposure to these substances can lead to allergic reactions, digestive issues, and even more serious health problems. Choosing sustainably sourced or wild-caught fish helps minimize these risks, ensuring that what you're eating is both nutritious and safe. Have you ever had basa? Or maybe you've been eating it regularly without realizing the risks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We've uncovered the dark truth about basa, but now, let's talk about a fish that's a little too good to be true, and what's lurking behind its label. Stay with me. What's on your plate today? Is it nourishing your body or quietly shortening your future? At the end of the day, every meal you make, every food choice you put on your plate, tells a story. A story about your health, your longevity, and the life you want to lead in the years to come. We've just uncovered the hidden dangers lurking in some of the most popular fish choices on the market. But the bigger question is, what does this mean for you? Think about it. When you choose a meal, you're not just feeding your body in the moment. You're investing in your future. What you eat today has the power to shape your tomorrow. If your plate is full of high-mercury fish, processed foods, and questionable choices, What kind of impact will that have on your heart, your brain, your overall health? The choices you make today will echo in your tomorrow. I want you to imagine this. You're 80 years old, looking back at your life and thinking about the choices you made, both big and small. Did you make the decision to prioritize your health? Did you choose foods that would keep you sharp, strong, and vibrant? Or did you overlook the silent dangers hidden in seemingly healthy meals? Take Sarah, for example, a 65-year-old woman who used to eat fish like king mackerel and bassa regularly. She was told it was healthy, and for years, she felt fine. But now, as she approaches her late 70s, she's facing health challenges that she never expected. Heart problems, memory loss, fatigue. It's not just the years, it's the years of unchecked food choices that have started to catch up with her. And now, Sarah is left asking, what could I have done differently? This doesn't have to be your future. You have the power to change it. Right now, today, you can make a choice that will impact your health in the long run. The truth is, you're never too old to start taking care of your health. Whether it's swapping out that mercury-laden fish for something safer or simply being more mindful about the food you eat, small changes can make a big difference. Start by checking the food you're eating. Look at the labels. Ask yourself if your meal is really helping you thrive or if it's secretly holding you back. Choose foods that nurture your body, like wild-caught salmon, sardines, or other low-mercury fish options. These aren't just healthier, they're also packed with nutrients that will keep your heart strong and your mind sharp. Take a moment to reflect. What's on your plate right now? Are you investing in a healthy future? Share your thoughts and choices with me in the comments below. And don't stop here. If you're committed to making smarter food choices for your future, make sure to subscribe for more tips on living a long, healthy life. Together, we can turn the page to a new chapter of health and vitality. Thank you for joining me today in this deep dive into our food choices. Stay tuned, because we'll be exploring even more ways to protect your health and well-being in the days ahead.